Okay, hello and welcome back to another lesson of Python beginner class. Okay, in this lesson 8, we are going to go through the technical aspects in Python. Okay, so this one won't involve much coding. If even if it involves some coding, I will probably just use the codes that you have done previously. Alright, so this one just talk a bit. Okay, so what we are learning in this video. Okay, so until this lesson, we've learned a lot about how Python coding works. Okay, from the basic view, basic standings. Okay, so for this lesson, I want to teach you about the technical stuff in Python. It might still use some coding, but this will be more on stuff like the modules and pip. Okay, the technical stuff a bit. Okay, so first of all, I'm teaching you how to use a try except statement. Okay, try except function. Okay, so what is this? Okay, are you tired of seeing this terminal giving you the error code every time you do something wrong? Maybe like this. For example, like this one. Just make it a bit. Syntax error in the syntax. Something error over here. Okay. So I'm going to teach you about how to change that by using a simple block of code. Okay, so you won't be seeing the error code again, right? But it will tell you that you have error, but it won't show the red stuff again. Alright, so this one will be on the broad error condition. Okay, so okay, so you write down the code, okay, and then you want to see whether the code is okay or not. Usually, if wrongly coded, the terminal will show an error code of some kind, right? But however, by using the try except function here, we can change what the terminal show us if the code is not right. Okay, so the code will looks like this. Okay, wait. I'm not using that one. I'm using the. I think I'll be using the dictionary. Yeah, okay, this one. All again. Okay. So this will be I will be using the dictionary, or if you want to do another file also can. Okay, then this one I'll delete this one first. Yeah, so let's start. Maybe I'll just create another code. Okay, so let's try like this. Okay, so first of all, start with the try. Okay, try colon. Okay, and then enter. Okay. So maybe just use okay, I'll just use the dictionary style. Okay, the dictionary storage. Okay, so first month's conversion, I'll just give you the same thing. Okay, if you still have the dictionary from the previous lesson, then you use that one. Okay, this one I'm just using like this. I'm just creating a new one. Okay, I'll just use this one. Okay, and then in the same indent, print months conversion dot get. Okay, like this. Okay, we're going to leave it empty. Okay, and then we're going to add another one outside of the loop. Okay, outside of the try loop, except. Okay, and print invalid input. Alright, so it's like this. Alright, Okay, so now once we run, okay, so you won't see the red error code again. Okay, once you have done it like this. Okay, because this one happened because this one doesn't have any value inside the get. Okay, the parameter is nothing is here, so that's why we get the invalid input. Okay, so what it does is that it will try to find you will try out the code first, and then it will see whether it is okay or not. Okay, so if it is not okay, then it will print out the except. Okay, this one. Okay, it will tell you it is wrongly coded. Okay, and then okay, but let's see. I'm hovering over the except. Okay, so this one tells me that it is too broad exception clause. Okay, so this one, the statement here, it is too broad. Okay, any kind of error can trigger this this statement. Okay, so we need to like narrow it down into specific error. Okay, so in the programming term, this one if you are using the broad statement, it's not really a good exercise to use for programming. Okay, we need to make it as specific as possible, the error. Okay, now I'm going to change the way we use it because I want to show you how to use the specific error. Okay, the statement for the specific error. Okay, so I'm going to try it down like this first. Try answer is 10 out of 0. Okay, 10 divided by 0, number integer, input, enter a number. Okay, and then print number. Okay, and we're going to add an exception over here. Okay, except. Okay, and then we are going to add another one. Okay, because this one is divide by 0. Okay, so we 10 divided by 0 or any number divided by 0. Can you get an answer from it? No, right? Okay, so for this kind of error, Python actually have it stored inside. Okay, it have the specific error here. So type 0 division error. Okay, so you type over here, and then print divided by 0. Okay, so once we run this one, okay, because we already have this answer over here, it will give us the error. Okay, divided by 0. Okay, because you cannot divide by 0. Okay, and if we add another one. Okay, you can actually have multiple exception. Okay, in this except statement here, value error, print invalid input. Okay, so this error, the value error will check like maybe you add something wrong. Okay, we are going to delete the answer 10 divided by 10, 10 divided by 0. Then we try to type anything here, and then it will give us the invalid input. Alright, so let's try again. Okay, so if you enter the number that is integer. Okay, if you enter a number or integer, it will not result an error. But if you add something like is like a letter or something, letter or sentence, it will give us the invalid input. Alright. Right, so in a way, the why we use the try except is because the try except can help you when given to other people to use. Okay, other people to use the same program. Okay, so like the first calculator that we created, it can only accept the whole number, and okay, it can only accept the whole number, and when decimal number is inserted, the program encounter an error, okay, and directly stop. So by using the try and except statement, the user won't see that error code showing. Okay, it will just tell the user, oh, for example, it is an invalid input. Okay, so it won't show you the error code. Okay, so next one will be modules and tips. Okay, okay, so modules in Python is kind of like a whole Python file that can be used without the needing of copying the code inside like this. Okay, back inside our own project, for example over here. Okay, it's like when you use a define function to create a simplified code. Okay, modules can be considered as a core part of Python programming. Okay, so we probably use a lot of the modules in future. Okay, okay, so to see what modules are available in our library, okay, on the PyCharm here, okay, on the left of the PyCharm there is a list of stuff. Okay, maybe if you can see, maybe you can click on this one. Okay, okay, if you can click on the project. Okay, if it's not appearing like my screen here. Okay, click on the project on the left here. Okay, so to see the modules that you have, right, scroll down here. Okay, scroll down. This one, the stuff that you see over here is all the lesson file that I have. Okay, so go to click on the external libraries. Okay, and then on the lib. Okay, so all of these are like part of the modules that is installed with the Python. Okay, so you can see over here, alright, the list of stuff is available. Okay, so that is all the Python modules that is installed with the PyCharm. Okay, so how do you use the Python module? Okay, so you can import the module by just typing the module name. Okay, so okay, so let's create our own module. Okay, this one maybe I'll delete this one. Okay, I'm going to create a new file. This one will do the dashes. Okay, dashes.py. Okay, now we're going to define something. Okay, def. Okay, so to create the dice, the dice file. Okay, first of all, we need to import random. Okay, type it just exactly as what I typed over here. Okay, and then on the second or third line, def roll dice. I think better like this. Okay, and then num. Okay, colon return, so that it will give us something when we print it. Okay, random dot random. Okay, and then number 1 and then num. Okay, so come back for this variable here, right? So now we have this dice file, this dice module. Go to another file. Okay, for example this one. Okay, right, import dice. Okay, your file name here. Okay, dices. Okay, and then print. Okay, the name, the module names again, dot and then the function inside. Okay, and then because this one we roll a dice, so the number will be random. Okay, so maybe 5. Then once we run, okay, see, it'll give us a random number. Okay, it actually doesn't care any number you put over here. Okay, because it will give us the still random number. Okay. Alright. So I'll just give you a summary for the module. Okay. So first you need to have a file with the name, the module name. This one will be the module. Okay. And then inside you will need to define the code that will help you that you need to use without copying the code back to another project. Okay. Alright, so the second one will be the pip. Okay, so do you remember at the beginning of the course of our course, we actually need to like install something called the pip. Okay, at the start to install the Pygames module. Okay, so that is a pip actually. Okay, using the command shell, that is a pip. So pip is like a package manager where you can manage to update, install, and uninstall a module. Okay. So pip usually involve a module that is from a third party. This one doesn't come with the PyCharm when installed, okay, or the Python when installed. Alright. So using the third party modules or pip means you need to go to the website if they uploaded it to, they uploaded it to, and follow the instruction written by the owner of the module or the pip. Okay. Usually it follows strictly on the instruction to install, but in PyCharm you can just go to the setting and install it all the way we install the Pygame module in the template building lesson. Okay, so for those that haven't attended the template building lesson, I'm going to show you over here. Okay, go to file. Okay, go to file, setting. Okay, setting. Okay, this window will show up, right? Click on this project and then your project name. Okay, project name. You click on this, click on the Python interpreter. Okay, so it will show up this window. Okay, it will tell us package. Okay, so this one is technically the modules and also like this one is technically the pip. Okay, we click on this one, the plus symbol. So over here you can find any module that you want. Okay, for example Pygame. Okay, it will like search through the internet and then install it for us. Okay, if once you find the pip that you like, you need to use, click on it and then click the install package, and then wait for it to show that it installed successfully. Once that is done, and then you can see in this window it is installed already. Okay, Pygame. Then click OK. So that is how you install pip using the PyCharm. Okay, if you are using the like a different IDE, maybe different process, but if you are using the editor by the Python and the idle, okay, you actually need to use the command prompt here. Okay, and then you need to type the pip instruction based on the pip owner instruction lah. Okay, but if you are using PyCharm, then mostly you just need to do what I just showed you just now. Okay, you don't need to use the command prompt. Okay, so that is all for lesson 8. Okay, so see you in the next lesson, which will be our maybe final lesson. Okay, so see you again, and thank you for watching, and see you again next time.